start off by asking a question we don't have to answer. But what comes to mind when you think of the word Frisbee? Chances are you probably thought of two children maybe tossing a disc back and forth in the summer, or maybe you thought of a dog and an owner playing catch with the disc. And that's what I thought too until my freshman year of college. It started out when I walked from the nursing building over to the math and science building, when all of a sudden something flew right across my face. And I looked over and saw a group of students, and they had their hands up in apology. And I kind of laughed and picked up the Frisbee, which was what was thrown across my face, and tossed it back to them. But my little effort made the Frisbee land maybe 5 feet in front of me and 50 feet away from the person to which I was throwing. Well, needless to say, I did end up becoming a Frisbee player on the team, and I learned how to play, and I absolutely love it. And after learning the ins and outs, I love Frisbee. And I'm here to explain to you in the next few minutes what Ultimate Frisbee is all about. In the next few minutes, I'd like to explain the history, the throws, the rules, and the requirements of the game. So let's toss it back to the aluminum foil that started it all. In the mid-1800s, there was a pie company called the Frisbee Baking Company. It was spelled a little differently than the actual Frisbee disc, in Connecticut. And they would make pies for these college students to take back to their dorm and eat or throw at people or whatever they want to do with them. Kind of like college students do today, they try to do anything they can to get away from studying. Well, soon these students realized that they could flatten out these pans and toss them to one another to pass the time and to enjoy themselves while they weren't studying. And I think it's relevant here when Jack Hawthorne said, "I have a collapsible American hat and it doubles as a Frisbee." But it wasn't until the 1940s, that the modern Frisbee was patented by Walter Morrison. And even still 20 years later, that Ultimate Frisbee was actually created. In a small town of Maplewood, Pennsylvania, Joel Silver gazed across his campus and saw 2 people throwing a Frisbee and came up with a brilliant idea that would change Frisbee forever. Now that you know some history, I'm going to go on about the rules and some throws. Silver and the rest of his student council sat down together and came up with the rules of this game. The game begins when 2 teams start at the opposite end zones. There are 7 players on each team, so 14 altogether. 1 player from the defensive end tosses the Frisbee to the other side, and the game begins. While in play, the disc may be thrown in any direction, but you have to stop before you throw it. You have to get rid of the Frisbee before 10 seconds or it's out. While in play, and your team loses points whenever you have it touch the ground, or another player catches it from the other team, or it goes out of bounds. Points are scored whenever the opposite team catches it in the opposite person's end zone. And the game is over when you score 15 points, or you reach 80 minutes. There are also some throws. Amongst others, there's the backhand, the flick, and also the hammer. And you can see that those throws being thrown as the players strategically toss the Frisbee back and forth. Despite its underwhelming popularity, players have to have a vast amount of abilities, such as agility, strength, power, balance, cardiovascular endurance, and also coordination. It certainly isn't a game for that child we once thought. And even though Frisbee has been around for a while, it's only been in the past 5 years that they've actually come up with professional teams. In 2010, the AUDL, which is the American Ultimate Disc League, was created. And then in 2012, the MLU was created, which is the Major League Ultimate Team. Collectively, they have 33 teams. But that isn't the only way you can play. All over the country, different schools have created these teams that they can play, and they have legit practices, and they also have games that happen on the weekends or during the week. But even though these schools don't offer scholarships usually, it's still worth the time and effort it takes to play because it's just that fun. And even still, if you don't plan on joining, being drafted by the MLU or going to college, you can still get involved in the community like I have in any soccer field, football field that there is in your county. I play at school, but I also play in the community, and it helps me stay active, but I also get to meet really awesome people. Ultimate is a great sport with a detailed history, intricate rules, and a place to get involved. Every day, a new person discovers Ultimate Frisbee like I did several years ago, and hopefully one day it will be as popular as football and basketball are. But until then, I will continue playing at school. Thank you. you.